Hello and welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. And today I'm going to talk about Raw, March 17th, 2025. Yes, normally I would pat this out on Tuesday, but it's been a very crazy couple of days and it's still going to be a crazy more days. And so I wasn't able to put this out on Tuesday. And I don't even know if I'm going to put this out on Wednesday or not, but I'm going to put this out hopefully before SmackDown. But there's some things I want to talk about. I'm going to save the promo from John Cena last, even though that was the opening of the show. I'm going to save it last, but I'm going to talk about a couple of things for today. One of the things I like to talk about is Dakota Kai versus Ivy Niles was a match that they had where Ivy Niles pretty much was distracted after Chad Gable had came out. The Creed brothers were already out there. Chad Gable came out. Eventually the LWO's Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio come out and attack the Creed brothers, and then Chad Gable pretty much ends up running out and Dakota Kai ends up beating Ivy Niles through distractions because of what was going on. And I don't know what that means for Ivy Niles or what's gonna happen there with her or Dakota Kai. I know they had like a little bit of a mini feud. I don't know if it's over now or what. I don't know if Ivy Niles is going to confront Chad Gable or if it's distraction or not. Guess we'll find out later on in next week. But it did lead to, this match led to another match later on in the night, which was LWO, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus the Creed brothers. Eventually, LWO ends up beating the Creed brothers, and the man from last week with the mask on, I think if they're calling him El Grande Americano or Americano Grande, I don't know. Anyways, he comes out and he pretty much attacks Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Now, I don't know who this person is. I will say that the person in the mask was wearing the same clothes as Chad Gable. I'm not saying it was Chad Gable. I'm just saying they were wearing the same clothes. He had some of the same moves, but he did have some of Chad Gable's moves as well. Kind of looked like the body shape of Chad Gable, but like I said, it's a mystery because he's behind a mask and I don't know who it is. So I don't know what this is going to lead to. I don't know if this is going to lead to like maybe the New Day versus the New Day, or and this guy in the mask versus like maybe 3 parts of the LWO or something like that. I don't know. I still think that Big E's gonna come back. We're gonna see Big E at WrestleMania. Maybe I'm just like tripping or dreaming or something like that. So I don't know what it's gonna lead to. Something in WrestleMania. I don't know if it's going to cause Chad Gable the American Made with the Creeds and Ivy Niles. I'm not even sure. But I mean, I do like what they're doing with Chad Gable, or whoever this mystery man is in the mask. But I think it's great. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. Anyways, Penta had a match with Ludwig Kaiser, where a no bars match. Penta ends up winning, and they asked him, I think Castor Kelly asked him what he's gonna do next, and he talked about how he wanted to go after the IC title, and I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm like, a match between Braun Breaker versus Penta for the IC title at WrestleMania. I can see it. I don't mind it. And I'm so glad that I just want him to be finished with fighting Ludwig Kaiser. It's like, no offense, I love Ludwig, I think he's great, but I mean, Penta has been fighting these either him or Pete Dunne for the last, I don't know, since he got here. So it's kind of like, oh my god, can we just move on from these people, please let us move on. And you know, if he wants a challenge for that match with Braun Breaker, I'm all for it. But speaking about Braun Breaker, he had a match with Finn Balor. It was the main event match for the IC title. But before that, Judgment Day had a backstage segment where basically it seems like Finn Balor was in a very good mood, where he was wishing luck to both Liv and Raquel, because Liv Morgan has a match with Jade Cargill this Friday, and Raquel has a match next week with Lyra Valkyria for the women's IC title. Then you had Dominic Mysterio comes in, and Finn Balor's like there he is, the right hand man, the man of the hour, and he told Dom, like, thank you for getting me this match with Braun Breaker and everything else. And Dominic's like, yeah, no problem, anything for a friend, like that, right? And he's like, I was thinking though, I have something to say and stuff like that. And Liv Morgan was like, no, don't mention this right now. And he's like, no, I think it's a good time. I've been talking about a bunch of people and getting some people in, and I have an idea. I think we should get some more people in. I've been talking to some people. And then Dominic Mysterio goes, I've been talking to some people, and I think we should invite Penta in the Judgment Day. And he's like, Penta? And Finn Balor's like, Penta? The one who just challenged for my IC title? I mean, it's not his title yet. I mean, he hasn't won anything, but for my IC title, you want to invite him in? And he's like, you've been talking to people behind my back? And he's like, basically, and then he ends up calling Dominic Mysterio a snake and walking away. And Dominic Mysterio's like, how was I supposed to know that Penta challenged for the IC title? And then Carlito's like, you don't watch the show, do you? I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, you didn't read that part in the script? Like, no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I was like, yeah, so I don't know. But anyways, let's go to the match. The match ends up where it looked like Finn was going to win, but then the distraction from like Carlito and Dominic Mysterio didn't go very well. Dominic Mysterio ends up pretty much putting Finn Balor off his balance because he was on the top rope, and then Braun Breaker pretty much got rid of Dom and Carlito and then got Finn Balor in the Frankensteiner or whatever it's called, and then did kind of like a spear, not his best spear on Finn, I must say, but he speared him and got the 1, 2, 3, and then they went, and then Dominic Mysterio and Carlito went to go attack Braun Breaker and everything else, and that's when Penta comes out, and Penta pretty much like helps Braun Breaker, and it ends up with like Penta having the championship and handing it over, and Braun Breaker, raising the title over his head, and they just stared at each other. And I'm just like, well, one of the two things could happen here. We could have Penta versus Braun at WrestleMania. You can add in Finn there. You can also even add Dominic Mysterio, because it could be a triple threat. It could be a 4-way. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I mean, like I said, I would not mind if Penta became champion at WrestleMania. I'm all for it. Like, I am all for it. I don't even care if Finn Balor becomes champion at WrestleMania. I'm all for that too. But obviously, it's gonna be some kind of trouble next week between Judgment Day, I'm sure. Especially if Liv Morgan beats Jade, which I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. I don't know if Bianca Belair comes out, if Jade is jumped by what's her face, Liv Morgan and Raquel. I don't know what's going to happen. But speaking of Bianca Belair and Io Sky had their contract signing on Monday, and basically, Priest is out there, and Priest is doing his little spiel or whatever, and this is the contract, and these two ladies are gonna go out at WrestleMania, blah, 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 and like, do you have anything to say? And Io is like, she's tired of being disrespected, she's the champion, and all this other stuff like that. And Bianca Belair is like, look, I respect you. I respect you wholeheartedly. It's like, I respect you. I've always respected you, but don't think that you can put your hands on me, because if you thought that, you don't really know who Bianca Belair is, stuff like that. Because she said, I admit that I probably deserved to be slapped last week because I was out of line, but you know that Rhea gets to me that way sometimes and everything else. She goes, but I respect you, and I'm looking forward to this match. They both signed the contract, right? And I was like, wait a minute, that's it? Where's the chaos? And Pierce is like, okay, that's great. You know, everything's fantastic. You're all signing, no trouble or anything like that. I'm like, but where is the chaos? And then Rhea music hits. I'm like, oh, there's the chaos. I'm like, there's always something. You don't have this is great, you know. I mean, there's something, right? And Pierce went from like happy to like, oh God, like, you know, here we go. And Pierce is telling Rhea, what are you doing out here, right? And Rhea's like, I'm doing out here? What are they doing out here? And Bianca Belair's like, well, I'm signing my WrestleMania contract. What are you doing out here? And he's like, oh, that's very funny. That's very funny, Bianca. You're gonna throw that in my face. Very funny. He goes, well, just like you had no business in watching like my match with Io a couple weeks ago, I'm just here to watch. Right? And then, you know, Bianca gets in her face, and then here comes Io, and then once again Bianca like palms Io to the side and like she pushes her away and everything else like that. And then when that happens, Rhea Ripley headbutts Bianca Belair, and she falls on the table, doesn't break. And then here comes Io, and she gets powerbomb on top of Bianca Belair on the table. It doesn't break. This must be some strong ass tables they've been getting lately. And then Rhea Ripley picks up the contract, signs the contract, and takes the contract with her. And then Adam Pearce is chasing her, saying, give me back that contract. And she's like, no. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, like, Charlotte Flair is right. You are acting like a child. You're acting like a little kid. Right? So then later on, you know, Rhea Ripley is talking to Adam Pearce and saying, you know, put me in the match. My name's already on the contract. And Adam Pearce is like, well, no. No, you're being childish, you're acting like a child, which I'm like, yeah, you're being childish, you're acting like a child, and no, I'm not putting you in the mat. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
And I'm just like, yeah, can you imagine just signing a contract and just be like, anybody could sign a contract. I'm like, shit, what is Liv doing? Liv ain't doing nothing at WrestleMania, right? Let her sign the contract. Look, put freaking Dakota Kai on there. Put freaking Natalie on there. Like, let's just get everybody on there to sign a damn contract. I'm like, that is not how it works. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, are we really pulling the angle of WrestleMania 20 when it was a match between Triple H and Chris Benoit, and then Shawn Michaels said, fuck it, let me just sign my name on the contract, and now I'm in. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not saying I'm not complaining about it. I really enjoyed that match. It was a great match, but I just feel like, no, I feel like maybe something needs to give. Obviously Rhea is going to be in this match. I mean, really the only thing that needs to be done is like Io, who is the champion, could be like, put her in the match, you know, like, just put her in the match. I'll take care of both of them. Like, I'm sick and tired of both of these women. Like, put them both in, like, put her in the match. I don't care. Or they can do something, since WrestleMania is 2 nights, they can do something where they got like a qualifying match where like we can get a little bit of a tease of like maybe Bianca versus Rhea, and if Rhea wins on night 1, she can get into that match on night 2, or even later on in the night, you know, kind of like what they did with in WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan, when Daniel Bryan had to fight Triple H in order to get into the match with Batista and Randy Orton. But yeah, he was acting really childish and stuff like that. I don't know how they're gonna spin this or how they're gonna do it, but I hope they just don't say, I mean, if Io says she wants in her match, that's fine, but I hope they don't say, well, you know, I'm glad they didn't put, well, you know, she's in a match now because she signed a contract. I'm just like, wow, that's like going and buying a new car and then like someone, and you already paid and you're about to sign the lease for the car or whatever and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, and someone else signed to go, it's my car now. I'm like, wait, what? So I'm glad they didn't say yes to that. I don't know how they're gonna spin it, but he's going to be in there for sure. And I can see this being the main event, especially I can see like this could be the main event for night 1 and have like, if it's going to happen, and I'm not sure, and it kind of looks towards that way, like on night 1 or even night 2 you have Roman versus Seth versus Punk at the opener. You know, they can start it off. I can see that, but I mean, I can also see this match, the women's match, being the opener and that match being the main event as well. I don't know, but that's like, and the only reason why I would say that the women should be the main event is because there's a title on the line, and that's why. But I don't know how they're going to work on how it's going to be. But I'm interested to see. I mean, Bianca Belair has been the main event before when she fought Sasha Banks when we came back from like the whole COVID thing, had like that first WrestleMania with people and everything else, and she was the main event on night 1, her and fucking Sasha Banks, and they killed it. So I wouldn't mind this triple threat being the main event. We already had one main event for women when we had Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, so, and that worked out pretty well, so why not again? I have no problem with that. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about, like I said, was the John Cena promo. So John Cena comes out in his old gear, his original gear, original music, no new music, no new gear, no nothing like that, no smile on his face or anything like that. Comes out, and the crowd, by the way, they're in Brussels, by the way, and the crowd automatically, as soon as the music hit, they're already booing, and they're singing, John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks. That song was like in my head all day. I was like, yeah, I like that too. I'm like, well, yeah, it's kind of annoying because it was in my head. Anyways, John Cena just stood there, right? Mean looking face and everything else, not smiling, not happy or anything like that. And the crowd is going off. Like, the crowd is just singing the songs, the crowd is just yelling at Cena and everything else. Eventually, Cena puts the mic down and he's about to walk away. And the crowd boos. Cena comes back and he picks up the mic and the crowd goes at it again and saying he sucks and all this other stuff. And he puts the mic down and he walks away and the crowd boos and he comes back and everything else. And this promo was like about 25 minutes. I'm going to say maybe 15 of it was him talking and 10 minutes of it was just the audience reacting to everything he says. Now, I don't remember verbatim, word for word, what he has said, so forgive me, but I'm going to go as much as possible of what I do remember what he has said. He basically said for the last 25 years he has been in an abusive relationship with the WWE Universe fans. Saying that whatever he had tried to make the WWE Universe happy, they were never happy. When he was winning, they weren't happy. When he was doing this, he was happy. He tried to change for them. He tried to do everything for them, and they weren't happy. The people in WWE Universe should be ashamed of themselves because they're a bunch of idiots and sons of bitches and stuff like that. And this is basically saying, like, you know, look, for like the last 25 years, you have been treating me like I'm a not human being, or not, I don't matter. I'm just a toy. I'm just a pawn. I'm just that, you know, like things like that of that nature. You like basically to say that this has been an unfair relationship, and even the people who say let's go Cena, all you do is copy off of me. You wear the shirts, and you look into the mirror because you're, and you know you want to be like me, but you can't accept, or something. So you want to be like me or something like that, but you can't because you have pathetic lives. And I will put the promo down in below so you can see it if you haven't seen it yet, because I am just murdering his promo. But it was like really good. It was really good because the fact is, it's kind of true, right? It was telling the truth because he was telling the truth because it was like, you know, people were like wanting them to turn heel and they want them to do this and they want them to do that and everything else, and they just basically treat him like an object. It was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of, you got a point there. I can't even like get mad and say, oh, well, fuck you, John Cena, which that's what the audience was saying. Right, which by the way, they kept trying to bleep it out, and I'm just like, I paid too much money on Netflix for you to bleep out freaking cuss word. I want to hear the fuck you, John Cena's, and the holy shits, and shut the fuck up, and shit like that. Okay, I paid for that. Give it to me. It's freaking Netflix. Like, I don't give a shit if little Timmy or little Johnny or little Betty Sue goes to the school and say, holy shit. You know, maybe the parents need to teach them to say, hey, don't say that at school. Okay, very simple. Right, anyways, so then he's like, you know, I'm not a baby face, I'm not a heel, I'm a human, right? You know, he's like, you've been treating me like stuff like that, and every time like the crowd would say something, he's like, you make it so easy for me, and then stuff like that. It was a very long emotional stuff, right? And it's like, it's nothing new. It's like 101 heel turn. It's like blame the fans, right? Blame the audience, blame the people. But it's like everything he has said is like, and the way he said it, it was like, yeah, I could see that because I've done that. I've been a victim of that as well. And it's like, so this is like the heel scene that I want to see. But this would have been better back in 2012 when he had lost to The Rock on that first once in a lifetime moment match. I think it was 2012 or 2013. This would have been great, but you know, seeing that he's been holding for 25 years and for like he's feeling his way, basically at the end of that promo he was like, he's dumping us, the WWE universe. He's no longer gonna be a victim of an abusive relationship anymore, and he doesn't want nothing to do with us anymore and everything else like that. John Cena was like, you don't get the new gear, you don't get new music because you don't deserve it. You get what you earned, and you earned nothing.
Oh, they're black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So, and then, you know, he breaks up with the WWE Universe, saying, I'm done with this relationship, whether you like it or not. It's over. We're done. We're through. Benito, moving on, I'm doing what's best for me. He talked about like how people really serious about hustle, loyalty, and respect, and he said that's what I live, and y'all just y'all just wear it as a because I wear it, saying that, you know, I don't need to change because you guys dress like me. Why do I need to change? Right? You guys do what you guys live vicariously through me. You want to be me. It's pathetic and stuff like that. But anyways, Cody Rhodes ends up coming out. The crowd goes crazy. Cody Rhodes is like, you know, yeah, maybe the crowd gave you their worst, but they also gave you their best because they feel like you deserved it. They feel like you could handle it and stuff like that. Basically, he ends up just saying like I don't even know who this John is, but I hope this John Cena doesn't come to WrestleMania because I want to fight the John Cena like back in the day. I don't even want to face this like whiny little bitch. And pretty much ended with that, and ended up this. And John Cena didn't say a word, dude. Cody Rhodes, because John Cena called Cody Rhodes a kid, and Cody Rhodes was like, "Don't call me kid. I'm the WWE Undisputed Champion." Right? That's who I am. What the fuck you calling me a kid for? And he didn't say anything after that. He was just sitting there, like he was just standing there, just looking at Cody as Cody was talking to him, calling him a whiny little bitch, and then Cody left. And I can be honest with you, I really thought that Cody Rhodes was going to like attack John Cena, because I mean John Cena did kick him in his little robes in his little robe, you know, makes him like, hey, maybe you want to have another kid someday, Cena, you know, why'd you kick him in his nuts, right? So I was hoping, I don't know if I was hoping for it, but I was expecting maybe he would go after, but I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad Cody Rhodes just said what he said and he walked away, because I mean we still have like next week on Monday they'll have the opportunity to do something, because we didn't really get John Cena saying why 17 was important to him and why 17 and why he decided to sell his soul to The Rock and everything else. I'm like, okay, basically this was just an attack on the fans. Basically it's like, you know, this is what you've been doing to me. You've been treating me like this. You've been treating me like I'm unhuman and everything else like that. Like I'm not your toy. I'm not an object and stuff like that. So I'm guessing like, and we still have like a couple more, I think it's like 30 days now, or 31 days now till WrestleMania. And John Cena will be at Raw on the next 2 Mondays. So we'll see something. So hopefully we'll get the explanation of why 17 is important to him, why he pretty much to sell his soul to The Rock, why he betrayed Cody Rhodes and things like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping like that he goes and attacks R-Truth, right? Because R-Truth pretty much stole his gimmick and everything else. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a thing. I would not be surprised if we see John Cena on a SmackDown and just beat the crap out of like R-Truth, and then Cody Rhodes comes and like saves him or something like that. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Also, I know that since seen as the question is, does John Cena win at WrestleMania? Which I'm pretty sure he probably should. If you're gonna go to the extent of, not to say that it would have mattered, but if you're going to the extent of becoming heel and not winning, it'd be kind of like, I'm not saying it would not be worth it, because we can always make it worth it, you know, they're very good at what they do here at WWE, but I can see it being a thing. I would like to see an appearance from Stone Cold Steve Austin, seeing as Stone Cold lives in Nevada, and he will be signing, like, I think he has like a thing during that week of April, so he's already there. And you know, if like The Rock interferes with John Cena and Cody Rhodes' match, you can have Stone Cold Steve Austin pretty much attack The Rock and stuff like that. I mean, John Cena could still end up winning the match and stuff like that. It's not gonna like, it won't like hurt or help Cody, but just to hear that glass break and everything else, and having The Rock turn around and just like look and stuff like that, and have The Rock come and be attacked by Stone Cold Steve Austin would be credible, right? And then you can have maybe John Cena win the match and then lose at Backlash, because Backlash is at St. Louis, and to Randy Orton, right? To Randy Orton, I can totally see that. Even if Cody Rhodes wins, to have that match with John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash. Imagine like a heel Cena versus a babyface Randy Orton in his hometown, and he wins. Like, what a heartfelt home field moment. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. But it was a really good promo. I did not give it any justice. I apologize. I will put the thing on in the bottom so you can go check it out for yourself. But it was an okay Raw. Like, I honestly, Raw came on like at 12 or 1 on Monday, but I wasn't able to watch it because I had stuff being done to my apartment. I didn't get to watch it until like 8 or 9 my time. But I think next week I don't know where they're at, but I think it's at 1 o'clock. So Raw comes on at 1. So I could pretty much have that probably on the same day, because I don't think there's anything going on that week, hopefully. And I think the following week is at 3, so that's probably at like 12 my time over here. But I say 3, I mean 3 Eastern time, so it'll be like 12 here where I'm at. Anyways, but yeah, it was a good promo. It was great. I loved everything about it. It was the truth, and I love that. I love how, and John Cena's always still has good promos, and people are like, I know a lot of people are complaining about the promo and everything else like that, and I'm just like, yo, you just don't understand. This is not the John Cena that we're used to. This is not the John Cena that, I mean, he was calling out little kids in the front row. I remember like they're saying, I'm dumping you, and they span, and like they scanned over, and there was like a little kid with like a sad look on his face. I'm like, oh man, oh poor kid, you know, and everything else. So I'm like, you know, this is great. This is not the John Cena that we're used to, and I'm kind of glad that we're getting this kind of John Cena. Here's the thing that I wonder though, like, how do you get, because I'm assuming that they're not going to have his career end with him being a heel. How do you go from being a heel back to a babyface? Like, what does he have to do? My thought is this, right? And I don't know how long he's going to be a heel, but I could see Survivor Series, right, where he's in the War Games. Because I mean, I don't think John Cena never been in the War Games before, and I think I've mentioned this before, but he's in the War Games. Say he's on like Team Rock, whatever, Team Heel, right? And he's going up against these other people like Cody Rhodes and Sammy and whoever else is on the other side of the team faces, and he eventually turns his back on the heels and he starts helping the faces. I can see him doing that. You know, it's like, you know, I'm tired of doing the and you know, doing that and having like the crowd just go crazy. I could see that. I could see that being a thing. Maybe even before Survivor Series, I could see like maybe he loses to Randy Orton, and then he fights CM Punk, a babyface Punk versus a heel thing, and he lost to that person as well, and maybe even eventually losing. Maybe Cody Rhodes gets his title back during SummerSlam, and then he pretty much sees the error of his ways and stuff like that. I don't know. I kind of like the Survivor Series better option for me, because it feels like, one, we've never had that happen before. Like, the closest we've had, it was like Tiffany Stratton had brought out her Money in the Briefcase when there was Nia and Liv in the ring, and I'm like, oh, is she gonna cash in on somebody? You know what I'm saying? But it never happened. So I would like to see a betrayal in the Survivor Series. It kind of reminds me of when Kurt Angle betrayed Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Alliance during that whole invasion situation, where it was Team WWF, well, at the time was F, but E, I guess, and versus the Alliance. And basically Kurt Angle betrayed Cold Steve Austin by hitting him with the championship belt, and then The Rock got the win. So I can see something like that. If they're, I mean, especially now since they're, you know, going after and they're playing off that book and stuff like that, that would be awesome, right? Just have like John Cena be like, you know what, fuck this shit. I don't want to be heel anymore. I don't want to be this bad person anymore. And stuff like that, and come back. Because I'm like, I don't know. Because like, how do you come back from that? Like, how do you come back from everything just blaming the crowd for like everything for the last 25 years and saying, oh, it's your fault that, you know, I'm doing this now. It's because of you. But yeah, I don't know, but it was a great promo. It was a very interesting promo. If you didn't watch nothing else at all, you should just watch that. That was good. Anyways, like I said, I apologize for the late video. I'm not even sure I'm gonna make a SmackDown video or not, because I have so much shit to do in my personal life right now. There's just such chaos. But if I do, I will. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your hump day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.